Testing. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Are the red bars actually going up? Yes, they are. They're supposed to be yellow, and they're also supposed to be green, but at least my voice is being received. Hope everyone can hear me, because I certainly cannot hear you. Well, this is kind of a one-way stream. I can read your comments, but I can't hear your voice. Maybe one day. I'll think about making a proper Discord channel or something for anyone to chat, but that'll be a way later thing. Welcome to Mastafran Art Stream. I'm your fine host, Mastafran, and I am making up for, I guess, my total fumble when it comes to my Memorial Day stream. So for anyone who stopped by my stream and expected me to thank you for the follow and didn't hear me, I apologize, and I will say again, thank you all for the follow. I hope you're all doing nice. It's a May 28th, Cyber Year 2026. It's been a scorching hot 85 degrees over the day, but now it's mostly cooled down. I'd say everything is kind of gotten down to, I'd say solid, probably a 7-ish. It's been a nice wind, so it's kind of been keeping me cool. Hope everyone's doing good. Because I'm kind of burning out. I think I've been jumping around on many of these cutscenes for, I'd say, the past several months, and I'm roughly done. Like, arguably, I could let these go and say, like, okay, this will be a solid chase scene. I want to add more, like, characters to this chase scene, but I'd say the fact that I already have what's essentially all the characters here, then I can just add other characters. That will totally work here. So, yeah, that'll work. So I'll just let that rock for now. And of course, he's able to run. I probably could rework his cheek animations so that he's more on model, because essentially his cheek animation is supposed to end down here specifically. But I'll tackle that as I go. Hope everyone's doing good. For anyone who is totally new to what I do here, my current this stream is a giant art stream slash dev vlog scene where I am basically working on a bunch of pixel art for my indie game Black Mass. And for those who are uninitiated, Black Mass is a indie game, a stealth platformer game about a raccoon treasure hunter on his way to travel the world to find a legendary treasure that ends up becoming larger than he can, and he's on a chase to find the rest of the pieces of these legendary treasures and try not to get killed in the process by deadly animal adversaries. Me and I've been working with a programmer friend together since 2020, and we're currently in the process of creating a game demo. And meanwhile, my programmer is doing his programming coding thing. I am posting my art all over online. You can follow me at Mastafran at Blue Sky, Newgrounds, here on YouTube, Twitch, and on Twitter, not on Instagram, because I'm not dealing with that anymore. So, kind of just making a whole new leaf for my life. And of course, I have a personal website, Mastafran.com, where you can not only see my archive of other art, which is non-pixel artwork, but you can also see all my regular artwork in comics. So, for this coming stream, it's mostly kind of just me working on a whole bunch of just different cutscenes. Probably won't work on this because it's kind of done. But I kind of just have this open for the sake of being open. I also got you that I still need to adding foliage. This used to be white, but it kind of looked like semen, so I'm not going to deal with that. But actually, no. Make it white because it would be funny. Now it's funny. I wonder, I could probably, like, do this. No. Yes, now it looks like semen. No. Okay, so anywho's, I am just doing a whole bunch of different cutscene, you know, polishing just to get things rolling. And I didn't intend to do a second live stream for this week, but since I found out my mic was silent, I was like, crap, I need to, because when I was editing my stream, I noticed that the live stream was completely silent, like it was all muted, like nothing was playing anything. Like it wasn't catching me talking or nothing. It was just completely, oops, that's not it. It was just completely silent. My music was playing, but it wasn't listening to me. So unfortunately, you were seeing me just completely silent. So I'm doing this second stream just to kind of just make up for that, and also to kind of just send off of the month of May, because May has kind of just been a big, I guess I've been feeling incredibly tired over May. I've been working on this specifically, and I kind of feel as if I'm not doing enough. I mean, yeah, that's typical of most creative endeavors, I'd say. Everyone feels like they're never doing enough, and you kind of have to fight that hustle bro culture to say, yeah, you're totally enough. Just be cool about it. So, it is what it is with that. So I'm trying my best to kind of just try to vibe a bit more. So yeah, Black Mass is currently in the process of, I'm adding more cutscenes overall to kind of just get things looking good for a demo, to have a nice first impression for, showing off a indie game for a possible Kickstarter or a pitch thing. So that's mainly why all these streams have existed, is because I'm trying to kind of just drum up interest, so to speak. And that's probably just half the reason why I stream, despite not truly vibing with streaming sometimes. I've had occasions where I sometimes think, why am I bothering to stream with all this tech stuff? I could just draw by myself and just not deal with all this tech and rigmarole. So that's a personal crisis of interest. I just feel as if I'm not as happy about overall. So I keep thinking about how much streaming is interesting for me personally. So it is what it is with this. And I do sometimes just wonder how much interest I do have in streaming, really. So, I'm, it goes in ebbs and flows. Like, some days I'm feeling good, and other days I'm kind of just feeling meh. And it's mostly days where I'm kind of just showing up after work, literally. Kind of just seeing what's what when it comes to coming from work. And sometimes I kind of just feel as if I'm not as up to doing stuff as me, like many other streamers, I suppose. But, you know, I try to make things worth everyone's while overall. I try to answer people's questions. I try to chat a lot. So if you have any questions, I'm always happy to help. That's probably just pretty typical. That's part one of why I do like these streams, is that, you know, whenever anyone does ask for help, I'm totally up for it. So everything else with this stream at the moment is mainly just figuring out what's interesting about these cutscenes. I could probably hide back cutscenes, and I could probably just get away with putting a highlight here. Like a little highlight here to kind of just indicate Cole's clothes adhere to physics. It's kind of funny because in his concept art he wears a leather cod piece, but in the sprite he just wears like not a cod piece. It's just like black pants. It's literally because the cod piece would just take up way too much time, so I'm not like dealing with that. And honestly, I think I'll probably make the black pants more of a thing, because the green color does pull him a bit more away from, you know, comparisons of him being Rocket Raccoon. So that's always just some little thing that I can do. And it's not even that I hate that he's compared to Rocket Raccoon, it's more just I don't want Marvel on my ass. And I don't know, it's one of those things where it's like I would prefer the giant corporation to not fuck me for reasons that I don't understand. So, you know, it's paranoia, honestly, but it's one of those things where it's kind of, you know, I kind of just, I think there is a good desire for not just an artist, but just anyone creating stuff to find a way to make themselves look distinct, let's say. You know, everyone wants to look, you know, everyone wants to be able to stand out and feel like they're not crazy derivative. And, you know, that's alright. You know, you don't have to feel as if you're a worse person because you're derivative. You can always just, you know, just vibe with, you know, being similar to things that exist. Okay. Okay, this'll work. Then arms. Okay. Put arms here. That way, you're seeing little bitty results. So this pixel art probably won't mean too much, but it might be helpful. So it's kind of fun with pixel art and coloring, because this specific color, while it's good for highlighting, it's also good for shading. And that kind of color method is one of those things where I kind of feel as if I'm missing from my regular art. I don't color like this when I'm making regular art. I frequently you know, do like a lot of eye doppering and stuff like that, but I don't really chase the high of making, I guess, fancy like color collections. Like if you've ever seen those gray I guess those images where an artist will take the same color gray, but then put it right next to either a red, or they'll put it right next to a blue, and it makes the gray be perceived completely differently. You know, that kind of illusion just works wonders when it comes to pixel art. So, you know, a lot of people understand this, like actual pros know that this kind of stuff, you know, helps you stretch colors and things like that. So, I could probably stretch you, put you here. Yeah. And then I could probably like stretch up. Yeah, get rid of the symmetry here. In fact, and copy you. Paste this here. Copy this. Copy. Paste this here. Yeah, it feels more and more complete. You probably don't even know why I do this, but it's literally, you know, just to make things just even. The horizontal overlay that sprite over this. Alright. Maybe like do something like that. Ah, okay. Okay. It can sort of work. It's just one of those things where I have to constantly go back, and there are occasions where sometimes I feel lazy for working on more than one thing. Yeah, that'll work. Then use this as shape. And it'll look decent. Probably do need to rework how this coat's gonna look, but you know, we'll tackle these as we go. A cool wide body. Do this. Now it looks half decent. Yeah, sorta. And it's one of those things where it's like, it could look decent, I could put the line inside and uphold, I suppose, the status quo of these lines. Dude, that's interesting. Alright. I'm gonna do a copy. Then just paste the feet here. It probably means nothing. I see what's up here. Alright, I'm seeing what they're doing here. Yes, I'm now seeing it. I'm seeing a bunch of stray pixels I didn't expect here. Okay. Guess I'm doing some housekeeping. And sometimes it takes that. I'm doing a lot of housekeeping and clearing things out. It probably doesn't even matter doing stuff like this, but that probably makes a difference. I'm probably wasting time, but okay. Let's see where the empty stray pixels here. Let's do this. Just fast little connections just to get things looking, I guess, clean. Probably doesn't matter, but it's gonna matter to me, like just having some clean assets, because that way, if you're ever gonna reuse these assets, you won't have to do the hard work of going back and re-editing it, because you already have useful assets. So that's kind of just half the reason why I tend to try to just do all this stuff. Are you here? Oh, I know what's up here. Okay, I think I can see this. Alright. This is in the wrong spot. Like, if it was a wind blowing thing, that would be awesome. In fact, could do a thing where, new layer, wind blowing. I'd view, make Cole's default go like this. Yeah, the hair goes slightly further back. And then you have a bit of a you know, just a little growth thing, so probably like hair wind. Like, tiny little pixel art things like that might be cool. So, yeah, never know if that would be helpful. It never hurts. I'm gonna kind of just cut you, put you here. Just move you slightly here. Probably doesn't mean much. That probably really doesn't mean much. Yeah, I could probably rework this hair so it's higher. Okay. Alright. There's like a little bit of hair is kind of just going up here. And for the sake of shading, I'll probably just do stuff like this. Just have a teeny bit of shading. And you know what? Sod it. Probably doesn't even matter much. Probably does matter. And probably just padding resources. Alright. We'll do this. Now the music stop. That did. Maybe like do like a little thing like this. Okay. Let's turn back on his arms. A little block here. I could probably like do something like this. Yeah, probably like do something like this. Okay. All right. Add more here. Yeah, make this animation look different. This probably means nothing. Welcome, Destiny, to my fine stream. You're watching me animate Cole actually yapping. And so far it looks pretty good. Right now he's, I think that pixel's kind of too in there, so I'm gonna just clear that away. That'd be good. I think he's finally yapping, looking out. I probably could like set it up so one side he's talking, then the other side she's talking. Just have them both like interacting and stuff like that. So it's like line change, he talks, and then line change, she talks. So do stuff like that. But due to the nature of how I set up this pixel art, it's kind of just one of those things. This a little long. I can see what's wrong here. Yes. So let's fumble with these arms a bit. Yes. So how have you been, Destiny? How's life, liberty, and all that stuff? Alright. Yeah, pretty peachy. That's good. Things are peachy enough for me, I'd say. You know, things are wrapping up in my workplace. And summer vacation is about to start for my school, so I'll have a week off, and then I'm going to be doing summer school routes just to get myself some extra cash, because despite being on break, my bills don't take a break, so that is what it is with that. So yeah, so far so good. I've gotten this cutscene done. I still don't like how his code flaps. I think I'm gonna rework the codes. But also, Control S, take a drink, and we'll kind of just deal with that. Ruby. But yeah, I mean, overall things have been pretty solid on my part. In terms of game progress, my programmer has finally gotten Black Mass on Git, so we'll actually have version control, and also I'll be able to actually, you know, download and try out the version and test things out. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now real progress might start rocket starting, and I think my anxieties will kind of just be cleared up because of that. So hopefully that'll work with this, and then this will be a decent time. Alright, share 2 concepts of your project on your project Twitter page, and so far the post did pretty well. The artist carried it. That's good. That's real good. Yeah. You know, sometimes some decent art's gonna work, but then, you know, some writing might kind of like also be a thing. So yeah, that's good that you're getting things, you know, you're actually making progress on your comic. So that is good. I've been I guess experimenting with like, do I make a mini comic and stuff like that, and I've been I guess looking at ways of how I can make an interesting thing, like a comic manual or a like what's it called, like a connected what's it called, like a connected spin-off comic where it's in the universe but is not directly on the game story. You know what I mean? Yes, my mic is finally unmuted. I can finally, you can hear me yap. You can hear my little avatar guy yap. I can finally talk, because I completely fumbled last stream's mic, because I was like, okay, for once I'm ready to stream, like, for once I was ready to stream, you know, unmuted, so this time I'm actually ready. No censorship. Yes, this is what the woke mob told you that you couldn't hear. Yeah. I can now express my First Amendment right to yap about bullshit, and I don't have to threaten you with a gun. I don't know if you've heard of this, like, this racist guy. Essentially, he was trying to be this free speech circle jerker and try to apply free speech to just going around insulting black people and calling them the N-word and stuff like that. And if they react, he will pull out pepper spray or a gun, and, you know, he's trying to, like, start shit. And eventually he ended up to a point where he essentially went to jail. Like, he finally, like, hit an altercation where he's finally gotten to jail. I believe it's in Tennessee. So it was just this dude. He was on, I think, TikTok or something like that, and he was, like, doing shit like that. And, of course, he was saying, oh, I'm doing this in the name of free speech and self-defense and stuff like that. Like, if anyone, like, comes at him, he will defend himself with self-defense. And it's kind of like, yeah, he's totally bullshitting overall. And obviously, you know, it's difficult for him to, you know, catch him on this because he is this fucking First Amendment circle jerker. And obviously he's running around brandishing a gun and nobody wants to deal with the dude with a gun. But eventually he, you know, all this stuff came back to bite him, and not only did he, well, he didn't mess with the wrong person, but he basically did his shtick in the wrong place in the wrong time, and now he got arrested, and he's facing a prison sentence of not just, you know, like, he's facing a prison sentence of, I think, like 56 years, and he's facing a fine of like a couple $1 million. So he is not able to get away from that. So, you know, good riddance to bad rubbish with that. So that's I think it's like, oh no, there was no drugs involved. It was just an asshole just being an asshole and trying to use the excuse of being a nuisance, or no, using the excuse of the First Amendment to essentially be a nuisance. Because he doesn't have the memo that just because you got free speech doesn't mean that you got the right to be a nuisance, and nobody can call you on that. So it is what it is with that, and obviously he is gonna be in prison for a long time. So, you know, that's the, I guess, the main character of maybe TikTok, because he is, I guess, just out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, that'll work. No. With here. Let me just top edge. There we are. Make it darker. Yeah, Wave Warp has been pretty great for just my silly wind flapping animation. So I've been using this a lot, probably more than I should. I probably should actually learn to animate wind flapping, but it's still so incredible. Let's see. Okay, that looks decent. Alright. But that's still... yeah, I mean, it looks okay. Could be a little slower. Could pick a different thing here. Also, this looks similar to this, just enough that we could probably, yeah, it's a little much. We'll move you here, and then copy and paste the actual still image here. And then kind of just adjust your size here and see if we can let me look okay. It's not absolutely perfect, but it looks like wind blowing. Though it does look like it's not really flapping out. I think, nah, I'll just let it go, because this, while this looks nah, it still looks too blinky. I think what I could do is just replace it with this. Maybe that'll work. But also, I need to flip this, because then the then the coat's like, says the hair is blowing this way, but the coat's going that way, so that's a problem. So what we gonna do is we actually gonna flip this the other way. It may like nudge you just a bit further. It looks okay. But again, it kind of like looks like he's kind of just looks like it's flapping away a little. Could probably do a thing where do an alternate flap. Put it here. Like, put the flap here now. Probably do some solid. Oh yeah, the symmetry's still on. But yeah, you just have a bunch of dudes who just go around starting shit. So obviously, lesson of the day is don't go around starting shit, because you never know when someone is either A, capable of finishing shit, or B, capable of you know, having the law come after you. So, you know, it is what it is with that. But that's like TikTok discourse. I'm super indifferent about that. I think the only other discourse I've kind of just missed out on is the whole like Game Over's discourse about Kit having a I guess looking like a Gooner design. I'm kind of like, that kind of says a bit more about you than Ross's designs, really. Like, I have followed Game Over since I think he was like doing that since 2013 or something like that. Like, he's been doing that he's been trying to like get that off the ground forever. Like, from some way, somehow. So, you know, it's pretty nice that he's managed to at least get a thing going here. But it is kind of just one of those discourses I'm kind of like, I am literally no longer online enough to care about this anymore. I mean, there's also like stuff like the Amazing Digital Circus discourse, where I'm like, I will enact judgment when they actually release that online, because, you know, I believe it's gonna be released on June something. They mentioned it like when they did their last episode, so I'm gonna watch that, because, you know, I've been keeping up with that for just the entire time. So I figured, okay, this is the big series finale, let's just freaking do that. So probably catch that. I am probably not gonna review it, because I don't, you know, I don't review anything. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. Like, overall, I kind of just don't really care for just notable discourse, but I'm just like, okay, indie animation, you know, it's nice that indie animation is actually just being a bit more notable than just nothing. But it does say a bit that I don't really watch a lot of stuff on Newgrounds. Like, I used to watch a whole lot of animations just on Newgrounds. And it was always just really cool to kind of just find the most obscure and obviously edgelord shit. Like, you would watch things like freaking Madness Combat and Zao Zao. Though I think it's now called, not Stick Fight, but it was something else. Something Dojo, Hune's Dojo, I think. So Yeah, they made that into that, where it's just really choreographed anime stick fights. So that kind of stuff, some fun stuff. And of course, early pixel art animations where people would like, you know, they would make animations with pixel art and stuff like that. So, So it had things like Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom and a lot of Mortal Kombat parodies. And Super Mario Bros. Z is also a ginormous one. Like, if I myself was going to make an animated series, either I would do it by hand, like, you know, regularly, or would try to like make a Pixar animated series and kind of like see if I can like flex my Pixar chops in general. I mean, it is doable. It's just pixel art's animated shows aren't really like, pixel art animated shows are kind of niche because, you know, when you use pixel art, it's a lot of effort that's basically better for video games and kind of just doesn't really look good. And I think when most like pixel art stuff's put in there, it's mostly like a gimmick to say, oh, look at all the retro gaming references we can put in, ha ha ha. So there isn't really a big adventure game type or adventure story that involves pixel art as an aesthetic. So I probably could do that. It's just one of those things where that would take work. Excuse me. That would probably take work that I can't guarantee I'll find a team for. Like, there's plenty of pixel artists I found. Not gonna lie. But enough pixel artists that I could get to work on what's essentially an anime show and not a game. That's a taller order. So, you know, it is what it is with that. Okay. I think I've done as much as I could for, I guess, this specific scene. Let me see if I can get the backgrounds rolling. I mean, yeah, so far so good. Looks pretty aesthetic. Alright, so far so good. It's looking mighty fine. Cole's calling lookouts. He's yapping. And Rose can smoke. And Cole can just somehow salute. But yeah, I've got basically so many variants of this scene that I can make it work on anything else. So once I'm ready to just export this animation, I can just, you know, I just have little flashes of stuff wherever I need them. So, alrighty. And in terms of like, I guess the context of what this cutscene's supposed to be, this is supposed to be more of a closing shot of it's supposed to be more of a closing shot of well, where is it? I wonder. Just like outside the eye. Oh, yeah, this is close enough. Like, it's essentially a cutscene shot of like this specific scene. Like, it opens with this, and then it will then zoom in on Cole and Rhodes just talking about, hey, this is the plan. Cole's going to go on the island and find the treasure on the island, and Rhodes is going to wait here and drive the boat. If Cole doesn't leave the island before sunrise, Rhodes is just going to abandon him because Cole essentially just hired her to do whatever, and she does not give a shit about him right now. So that's kind of just the wacky little dynamic of Cole like being a bit of a shifty hustler at the moment. So that is essentially the big intro, and then everything else is, you know, kind of just figuring that stuff out. Alrighty. But since this cutscene's practically done, I'm going to essentially just take a break, work on the next part, and I will be right back. And we return. Alright. Not really going to work crazy long on this foliage, but it's a lot of foliage that I still need to basically work on. It's still a lot, but I was going to animate this foliage, but it's probably going to be a while, so I ain't gonna dive too deep into that. So the reason why this foliage is white, so I can actually make it a distinct color. So I'll do things like stuff like this. It'll either be a specific color and a specific shade, or have it be a specific dark shade like this. So that's the hope of how I'm going to tackle essentially just most of this stuff. It's it's pretty straightforward, but that's how things have been going overall. So I think the toughest thing about doing foliage stuff is that much of this is high detail that I kind of sometimes feel as if there's a lot of detail that I sometimes wonder, is anyone even going to notice this? Yeah, well, somebody probably will. Thank you, Strange Raptor. Oh yeah, I've been working on this, I think, for the past 2 weeks, I'd say, but it's mostly on and off because I've been like working on it for maybe one day, and then maybe like the next week I'll be working on it for a different day. But yeah, this bridge has been pretty straightforward. Though I will admit that this is a bit outside the screen margins. Like, I could probably do something like, maybe it starts here, and then it stretches down to here. But figuring that out is going to be pretty interesting. And also having it plus the overlay is also going to be a bit tough. Because it's like, okay, you have the screen margins, maybe it scrolls right, but doesn't really like, everything like cuts off. Hopefully this won't need text, because that will be a problem if it needs text. Because then I'll just have most of my hard work kind of just cut off. So, it is what it is with this. But, I've been tackling a bunch of other cutscenes. I actually haven't like showed you all my other like Fox cutscenes I did from last stream. So, I did some work on these foxes, where essentially I have a crowd of foxes chasing Cole as he escapes from the island because he's foiled their plans. And essentially they're the same fox, but they have like variants of their animations. So they're similar but different, and it gives the illusion of variety. So I'm pretty happy that I got this done pretty punctually. I did want to do things like the weasels and stuff like that. Oh, I'll probably tackle that later. One thing that I am a bit iffy about are these speed lines, because I can't choose whether the speed line should be white or dark. Oh. Because let me see. Yeah. Like, do this. Oops. Yeah, probably like do stuff like this. I mean, it blends a little better. But thing is, when Cole shows up, actually no, the black does blend a bit better. Yeah, dark to light, like dark at the edges but light towards the center. That could work. Yeah, probably like do some kind of gradient. That could work. Oop. Let me see if I can at least do something that's kind of tippish. So probably like do this, then probably like color here. Oh, I know what you mean. Like maybe like dark at the... Okay, wait, I think I know what you mean. Damn it, I can't redo. Okay, let's go back here. And then go to the tips. Hopefully I'm hitting the tips. It kind of sort of works. Feels like it would take way more effort, though. You know, let's go. Let's at least try it. Yeah, go back to here, knock you, then go to the tips. And try it out here. Yeah, this is a very, very rough setup. So hopefully it'll at least look interesting enough. Why aren't the speed? Okay. Let's see. I think the black lines are still... Yep. This would need to also be colored too. Shoop doop doop doop. Okay. Alright, let's see how it's looking. I mean, it's kind of working. I think I would have to set up so the floor would glow like this. Like, I probably would have to do something where the shine would actually be going down the path. Where it's like, yeah, the shine's going this way. And that would be looped. Like, have the bright shine from here, then go to the end, but then loop. Something like that. That could work. Yeah, probably should do that instead. I'll have to come back to that another time. But I'm not working on this cutscene right now. I'm working on this cutscene. But I will also show you this cutscene because we're working on this for the previous hour. So far so good. We've got a decent amount of variance with the coat flapping in the wind. Nicole able to talk. So, that's what I've been up to for this hour. So, now we are getting the more complicated background. So, let's get to work on this. Because it's currently 8, so I don't want to be up too long. But yeah. Currently, the goal of just getting this foliage done is to try to just adhere to the silhouette without being completely in the weeds of detail, because that's one thing that I struggle with when it comes to not putting a crazy amount of detail. Is that, yes, I put a lot of detail, it's admirable, but it's also wasting time. So I am trying my best to not be constantly thinking about the teeny weeny little detail, because right now I'm trying to just get the texture of it all. So I'm kind of watching a bunch of oil painting videos, like oil painting, acrylic painting, stuff like that, just painting videos where I'm seeing painters paint stuff. And the big thing that these painters tend to try to just drum into people's heads is that when painting, you don't want to overrun the painting by working a singular area with the same amount of detail, because then it'll just end up making it look flat, because everything has the same amount of detail instead of leading the eye, so to speak. So the point is to have this eye start here and then lead to the bridge. Like, that's the big, like, important spot with this. So obviously this ain't going to work with these specific colors, but like doing things like this and then something like this, or even like do something like this specifically. And that way things will at least, you know, you can see where the foliage is, but you're seeing it adhere to the shadows and stuff like that. And then the actual white part is where coal is. And then I'll probably like add more white area with like either foliage out here, like a little swamp, or probably like emphasize maybe like a rim light or something that's here. Just do stuff like that. So far it's so far it's kind of working. It's just there's a lot of stuff I need to get to work with. So I'm trying not to let this be confusing, at least for me, because that's a tough thing about drawing stuff with lots of detail, is that it's easy to get bored drawing all that detail. Luckily, a nice rule of thumb is to not draw all that detail. If I not draw all that detail, I mean give the illusion of detail instead of drawing every tiny petal. So you'll notice that most of these are me kind of just adding blobs essentially, and these blobs are an illusion of leaves instead of me actually drawing the teeny beeny little leaves on every freaking vine. Well, that's not the point. The point is to imply the existence of leaves by putting key spots in key places. So that's the tough thing that I'm teaching myself overall when it comes to essentially like doing a bunch of art development and game development in general, or at least making art for games, is that I'm trying to make sure that clarity is a big thing instead of it being fairly incomprehensible, and either players don't know where to look, in which case you probably will need something like yellow paint to make sure players know where to look, or you just have a bunch of incomprehensible footage. You have a bunch of incomprehensible detail, where it's just detail for detail's sake instead of making sure people know, it's detail that actually is important, or important and matters. Where it's like, okay, you put a thing there, all right, why is it there? Like, is it to indicate that stuff grows here? Is it to indicate that there's a history of this? So the reason that this has vines and foliage is, one, this is a jungle area. There's a lot of plant life, it's also nearby a water source. So of course there's a lot of plant life in a water source. And also this is a bridge that's kind of like neglected. You know, it's not like completely, it's not maintained, and I kind of just want to indicate that not many people have shown up at these ruins for several years. I haven't established a specific number, but I'll just say that's thousands of years, let's say. So, you know, you do that, that kind of stuff will get, you know, established, you know, will put forward the story that, hey, this place is old, so, you know, that means anything can happen because it's old. So it's like things like that, thinking about, okay, what would just establish that this looks like it's aged and stuff like that. And you're kind of just figuring out what would sell this the best, as opposed to, okay, we're just adding detail for the sake of detail. And sometimes the detail will work, but it's like, okay, the detail's supposed to matter. Like things like torches. That's one thing that I've actually noticed that I don't put in a lot of my the interior dungeon stuff, is that there's no torches. And I never thought about that because I was thinking Cole has night vision, he wouldn't need torches. But, you know, obviously in other dungeons, of course, you would have torches. You know, that's kind of a staple of a lot of these things. You know, you got torch puzzles and stuff like that. But I guess my like weirdo mind says, like, because Cole has night vision, he probably wouldn't be able to need torches. It also that's also a thing with just going into ruins in general, is like most ruins, if you haven't explored them at all, won't have pre-lit torches. Like that's kind of just a thing that no one ever thinks about, because, you know, for the sake of the story, this underground ruin area is already pre-lit by mysterious forces that will never be explained. Because this is a story, damn it. Probably like put you here, that'll look there. Okay. Fill in the gaps, make it look like it's adherent to a tiny bit of detail. I heard Mina the Hollower is finally out. That's gonna be great. I don't know if I think it's on my Steam wish list. I should get on my Steam wish list. It is nice that Yacht Club's finally making a game that's not Hollow Knight. But no, I kid. You know, it's gonna be nice that you know, they're making a new game that's completely different. So that's going to be pretty nice for them. Yes, I wish them the utmost success. Even though I have yet to beat actual Shovel Knight. But, yeah, that is what it is with that. I was playing through Shovel Knight on the Switch, but I kind of just, I guess I haven't like stuck with it as much because I just keep getting busy with life. I think that's what I'll do during my personal week off, is I will just try to just play my backlog of games. Because I certainly know it's going to be real easy with that, especially since video games in general are just getting more and more expensive. Like, I heard there was a price increase for the Steam handheld, and that is just rough with that. Like, Steam is just eating the brunt of this AI bullshit. And it's really through well, actually no, it's through someone else's fault. Like, you have a bunch of dudes thinking, hey, we can make money off of this, and not really putting together how much of a scam it ends up being. So they end up just driving up the prices of resources to astronomical proportions. And then they all complain, oh, I didn't know that this is. Why aren't people buying our electronics? Well, because you made electronics more expensive. You made electronics more expensive than food. And so people are going to prioritize buying food over the more expensive electronics. Because even food's increasing in price. So, you know, people gotta choose. And they're certainly not going to choose a game console. So that's kind of just the breaks for them. So, you know, hopefully, you know, people who are early adopters are probably real happy with that. I am probably still not as interested in getting a Steam machine or anything like that, regardless of, like, I was never interested, like, even from this jump, because I'm never in a position where I need to, but I'm not really in a position where I need another portable console besides my emulator box. Like, I don't feel that I need to, like, have my Steam games portable that much, because most of my Steam games, like, a lot of those Steam games are actually like PC games. Like, they require mouse and keyboard. And I literally, like, buy them just to see how they work. Speaking of mouse and keyboard, I realized that I still have yet to continue playing Thief. I originally intended to play Thief on stream, but I kind of just fell off of playing Thief. I think that's probably just me, like, feeling technical. I guess Thief is a game that's more complicated than I want, and I feel like I need to think a bit more when it comes to playing Thief. Which is weird because I played Metal Gear and I was getting through Metal Gear pretty fine. But I guess with Thief, I feel like I need to concentrate more. I think it's also because I personally don't like first-person games. I think I feel a slight sickness when it comes to playing first-person games. So I don't really play a lot of, I guess, first-person games. Like, I played Team Fortress 2 for maybe like short bursts and stuff like that. But overall, a lot of first-person games I don't really stick with too long. Probably like add more vines here. Alright. These are really good looking vines. Let's control SU to save some progress, because holy cow. Next. Let's do this foliage here, because this is actually a more important foliage here specifically, because this is actually a bunch of covered stuff that Cole's supposed to tear off to reveal other things. So I'm actually going to kind of establish a bit of a leaf pattern overall. Do some really basic leaf patterns. Get that down. And I'm trying my best not to like blow so much time on details that probably aren't going to be notable. Because it's very easy to fall in that trap of just meticulously work on a thing, when truth is you need to make sure that it adheres to the light, really. Like, if you can just make it so it's adhering to the light well, you can kind of fudge a lot of just details. Okay, now you stick out here. You stick out here, now we're good. You obey gravity. A bit of a spike here. That'll look good. Yep. Get that rolling. Yes. Okay. I do need to finish all this foliage here. Finish more of this foliage here, get that here. Nice. Alright. Everything is looking solid. It's kind of funny. When I share this online, I got a comment from Ron Gilbert telling me that, yeah, this pixel art looks fine. Stop like adding so much detail on it. And I gotta take that to heart, because if Ron Gilbert tells me that it's fine pixel art, I kind of need to listen. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm humble bragging right now, but holy cow. I have to pat myself on the back for stuff like that, because I'm now just, I'd say I'm at a point where I'm a professional pixel artist, arguably. Or no, not arguably. I don't have to argue that. I am, I guess, able to just convince people enough that yes, I can do this at a professional level, and nobody can convince me that I can't, because I've met a bunch of pixel artists like, yeah, your art looks fine, and it's mostly a matter of kind of just doing more of what you're doing, because you essentially, you know, just have the basics down. I think one thing that I probably could focus on is my speed a bit more. I sometimes feel that I'm still slow. So that's kind of just one of those things where still just trying to just get over that hump. Yeah, get that rolling here. A bit of detail here. Alright, so far so good. Welcome, Mr. Goji. Welcome to the art stream here, where you are seeing me essentially put semen on my backgrounds. It's not actually semen, it's grass foliage, but because everything's green. You know, stuff like this has actually kind of been a bit of a personal concern, because there are kind of tiny limitations I feel from a monochrome palette, and that includes being able to have people tell apart what's what. So far I've been able to, so far things have been clear, but I'll admit that a lot of the detail kind of just looks like a bit incomprehensible sometimes, and I tend to worry like what's important, what's not. Luckily, this looks decent enough that it's not standing out so much. Like, all the important stuff is sticking out and things are clear. But sometimes I wonder if the monochrome thing has so much limit that I'm probably kneecapping myself sometimes, and it probably would be a better idea to put it in color. And I frequently ponder this with my programmer sometimes, because a lot of the early builds of this are in color. That's mostly for my programmer to be able to just tell the difference between how functions are going at the moment. And that kind of stuff is one of those things where it's half the reason why I haven't shown off more stuff of the actual game development, is because it doesn't look like the final game. So that's kind of just one of those things where I tend to I guess keep things just more on the down low. Alright, add some wee bits of foliage here. There we are. It's difficult to convey the roughness of vines with just square pixel art, but I'm doing my best. Thank you. Yeah, so far looks pretty good. It's mostly a matter to kind of just put in that time. So, right now, what's really needing to be done is just getting more of this foliage just down. And I think this leaf piece was I think I just painted on that and never really noticed that it wasn't correct. I just moved that there. So yeah, kind of just have a decent amount of just vine detail, make it look as much like vines we can muster. And that way, it at least looks solid overall. There we are. Ugh. Crap, I am more tired than I thought. It's kind of funny because It's currently 8:30, but it's still, I mean, it's bright. It's darkening, but it's not dark. And I just feel weird when it comes to feeling tired earlier, because you tend to I guess there's kind of this, I don't even know if it's a social stigma, there's kind of just this thing where people kind of like give you shit for getting tired at night and stuff like that. And it's difficult to really explain overall. Well, actually, it's easy to explain. Just you have a bunch of assholes who will tease you for not being the most awake motherfucker. This is like a sleepovers thing. I don't know. Like, how people will have this sleepover and then people will draw on your face. That's kind of just in that wheelhouse. Okay. There we are. It's looking decent. I think one thing that I'm kind of just noticing is if I fill in the gaps in interesting ways, I'm able to just give off that illusion that there is more detail to this than there really is. So that's been pretty nice, I'd say. Yes. Okay, probably do this. Put this here. It's kind of weird because there are moments where I think, okay, I could probably copy and paste this, but I'm like, it never feels, I guess, as organic. Like, there's occasions where I've checked into, like, try to make brushes, but it never feels as, I guess, spontaneous when it comes to making the leaves. So I can't just leave it as is. Motherfucker, come on. Okay. Okay. Let you roll here. Nearly done with this vine. But yes, once I'm done with all of this, I'm actually just going to take a break from just drawing in general. It's kind of funny because I probably arguably have already been taking a break. Like, I haven't really been posting daily sketches that much. It's half because I was feeling a slight art block and half because I just... Well, actually, half of it is because of an art block and half because most of my, I guess, drawing brain is being taken up by this. So I'd say doing art is, I guess, daily is one of those things. I mean, it's one of the, I keep thinking so much about how much I'm making art for content's sake and not because I have an interesting art piece to show off. And I have been thinking a lot about, okay, you made a art piece, but what's it actually mean? You know, sometimes I feel this sense of that I'm not making art that's meaningful. And that's like capital M meaningful, where it's like, okay, we have a message, it's saying this, is like doing the actual, it's on a canvas type stuff, and people are kind of just interpreting that. So I'm wondering if it's my own ego saying, okay, you just need to make something that people will think that you're deep for. And maybe that's why I'm kind of just feeling this weird worry that I'm not making art that's capital D deep. So I think that's half the reason why I haven't been posting as often, because I keep like thinking, okay, I just need to make something that's, I need something more than just a sketchbook doodle that I made at work. You know, something slightly more meaningful than what I'm doing at the moment. So, and it's still not perfect. It's one of those things where it's like, I still post notebook sketches and things like that. It's just, I don't know how I could explain it truly. Okay. So far, I mean, I'm making good progress on these vines, but holy cow, I'm feeling tired. 9:43. Maybe it's just the fact that I woke up at 3 in the morning today for work. Drink of water. Drink of water, back stretch. Alright. Also noticing that it doesn't really do this, that little loop hang thing, so I'll probably just do something like this. I can't just get you more surrounded. There we are. Looking a bit more aesthetic. Get a few more vines, kind of just make it look decent. Essentially what this is going to be doing is break up the vines into, you know, just bigger spaces. And just do a modicum of texture. It looks real good. Okay. At least I'm making progress, like making this look better. Maybe my drawing brand's kind of just burning out a bit. I mean, so far so good. I had a decent run overall. I could add leaves to these vines just a bit. A little tie set up here. Get a little bit more here. I think now I'm kind of just hitting this weird form, like, you know, just run it. Run it, dude. There we gotcha. Yeah, now I'm kind of just in absolute ultra instinct mode, where I'm kind of just completely locked in. I will say this is appropriate music, because it's certainly just a challenge for me right now. Just keep at this. Entire middle, fuck. You know what? I'm actually feeling heckin' tired. I think this is as good as I can get you right now. I spent, I think, a solid 2 hours locking in on this, so I think this will look, I think this will work in a way. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll call this like, I think I'll just call this a night right now, because I am certainly feeling very EP. Oops, easy. I mean, so far it looks pretty decent. It's one of those things where I can't decide between this color or this color, because this color shows off the vines, but this color also gets it to blend in more. I think if I made this side darker, or even just a flat black, this would look more like a this, you know, these vines would stand out better. Like, this is fine. I'll think about this, but I'll just have to come back to this another time. Probably not this on stream, or probably like something completely different. But yeah, next week I think next week I'm not gonna stream. I'm just gonna actually just take a break, and then the week after I'll do actual stuff. I am planning on opening commissions sometime in June, so I'll keep you all notified with that. I'll post it on social media and just indicate that I am taking commissions. But at the moment, I'm still kind of just prepping this because I still got these cutscenes I still need to just refine. But I'll keep everyone informed. But for now, I'm going to head to bed myself and wrap the stream. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I will see you all next week. Have a good night.